Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Hetty. I hope you are having a fantastic Tuesday. Here's your long range forecasting segment. Of course, we're going to do these weekly, just kind of dive in and talk about the pattern, what we are going to see as we go through the next several weeks. First off, let's look at snowfall so far. Got to make sure I don't step over the dogs or don't step on the dogs, but snowfall so far. Last year, we had to go almost to Christmas before we saw snow. Officially, about 3/4 of an inch has already fallen in Joplin. You can see Kansas City at 3.5, 9 in Des Moines, Chicago at 12 inches. Not a bad start. We're in a La Nina pattern. We were in a La Nina last year. I'm not a La Nina fan by any means, but what that means for you and what that means for us is we are going to have some bigger, colder snaps as we go through the winter months. Let's go upstairs. Here's our upper level energy. So today, you can see the Arctic air up across Canada. Yeah, we've had some cold snaps, but we haven't had a true Arctic blast across the region. There were some hints that we would get one right around now, but no. In fact, I think we may go the other direction. All right, so we have a weak system, but I want to keep my eyes on it on Saturday. Then, as we get into next week, the cold air retreats, Great Lakes. So here's Tuesday the 9th. And then watch this as we go through into the middle of the month. So here's next Friday, the 12th. Look at this ridging taking place. And we can't get any big storm systems when you have this tight jet stream and a northwest flow, meaning it's out of the northwest. You get fast moving waves. Now we can get snow from these. We're not from this, but I mean in the winter months, you can get snow from these fast moving little systems. But check this out. So as we go into the middle of the month, look at this ridging. This could pop us 50s, 60s, 70s for highs here in about a week and a half, which would be great. And I've been waiting for this to return. So last year we were on a 41-day cycle in the cycling weather pattern, pretty short cycle, one of the shorter ones that I have seen. This year we're going the other direction. I mean, we're talking 3.5 weeks longer than what we saw last year. So I've been waiting for this system to really return. And this is kind of back in the part of the pattern that we had kind of middle of October. And at that point in time, we got some very wet systems right before Halloween. So these are going to roll in, you know, the week before Christmas. So we want to keep our eyes on that. All right, so let's see when our storm systems are going to occur. So we do have a slight chance to get a little light snow as we go into tomorrow night. Here's our next fairly wet system. So here's Saturday, this Saturday. Mainly looks like rain, but we'll see if a little cold air can filter in, give us a little snow as we go in on the back side. Overall, next week, fairly calm. We got some fast moving systems kind of flying by. Here's next Thursday. You can see another system kind of flying by. And then really we're kind of in a lull. Not a whole bunch going on. Here's Sunday the 14th. We'll start to get a few showers popping up. And then as we get past that, we should get a storm system in here that will give us rain, and we'll have to see how much cold air can filter in, because if it can, we'll get some a little bit of snow chances across the Central Plains. So you can see it gets very wet the middle of the month and then heading into that week right before Christmas. All right, potential rainfall over the next couple weeks. Obviously, this is a model run, just shows you where the wetter trends are. So really from us, just south. Snow trends over the next couple weeks. You can see more snow just to our north, but at least we have some snow chances, which is going to be good to see across the region. All right, so here's your 7-day, and we still got more on this video here, but here's your 7-day as we go through this week with those rain chances heading into this weekend. All right, so let me pull a couple things up here. Let's see here. Let's pull out the global predictor. Let me get this size up. So I have this kind of plugged into Joplin, and now because Weather 2020 and team, now that we have the pattern pretty close to figured out, we have our AI and our algorithm kind of set up a little more properly on the global predictor app. But if we look at December, and I know it's a little small, but what you can see here is temperatures a little bit above average through the rest of December. Yeah, we're going to have highs into the 40s, of course, the last 2 weeks of December, but that is actually a little bit above average. Now, if we look at precip, remember, I said the middle of the month really picks up. Here's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We even have rain or snow chances on Christmas, so we want to watch that. Now, as we get deeper into cycle 2, then our AI will take cycle 1 and take cycle 2 and blend them together. So that means this forecast becomes even more accurate as we get into January, February, and of course, severe weather season. Let's go into January, and you can buy the global predictors, $5.99 a month, because you can go anywhere in the world and get your 6-month forecast. But if this is something that you want to be able to see on a normal basis, just go ahead and look for it in the App Store. All right, so look at this big cold stretch, the middle of January, and then the last 2 weeks, we start to warm back up. And with that cold stretch, we do have some rain chances, rain or snow chances. So we want to watch that as well. So really the bottom line, yes, we have some rain and snow chances over the next 2 weeks, but we're in a little calmer stretch of the pattern. But I really want to watch that week before Christmas and right after Christmas, because that's when I think things are going to get fairly active. Let's look at low temperatures here. Teens and 20s. This second week in January, that could be an Arctic blast, and we want to watch that as well. Let's go into, let's check this out. Let's see if this gets picked up. Okay, so let me do some quick math in my head. Today's December 2nd. Okay. So if we look at the event, so you remember the snow that we had, Northern Plains, over the weekend, that's this event right here, February 2nd, our snow yesterday, February 4th, 6th, and 7th. So we want to see if snow can return as we get into that, or at least this system producing snow once again as we get into early February. All right, guys, hope you're having a great Tuesday evening.